Guitar, there, Siddy. Apologies to reveal myself, but hey, I've had a Yorkshire accent longer than he has. What I have hanging around my neck here is a 1977 or maybe early 78. It was bought in April 78 anyhow. Kimbara Strat copy. Kimbara was a brand name belonging to John Hornby Skews, or JHS, who were, maybe even still are, a musical instrument importer and a wholesaler in the UK. They had a range of instruments which they had manufactured for them by the Fujigen factory in Japan. Strat copies such as this one. They also had some Les Paul copies, and I think they also made banjos. Anyhow, this is an example of one of their Strat copies. It's not a direct replica of a Fender Strat. The differences that it has, primarily around the neck. It has a separate maple fingerboard and neck. As you can see, there's no skunk stripe for the truss rod. The truss rod adjustment is at the body end. Although, to be honest, I've had this guitar for years and I've never had to touch the damn thing. So the truss rod was inserted from the front and then the fingerboard put on. It's got medium jumbo frets, more akin to a Gibson, and the nut here is more like a Gibson nut. It's butted up against the end of the fingerboard, as it would be on, for example, a Les Paul, rather than being inlaid into a slot in the fingerboard as it would be on a Fender. The machine heads are of the sealed type, so again that's a variation from what you would have found on a 70s Fender. The body is made from sen, which is an Asian wood which is very similar to ash. It's quite heavy, probably about 8.5 pounds, so it's getting up into Les Paul territory rather than the weight you'd expect of a Strat. However, Fender Strats of that era are notoriously like boat anchors anyhow, so it's pretty much in line with that. The pickups, the middle and the bridge are the single coils that came in from the factory. Sorry, the middle and the neck are the pickups that came in from the factory. The bridge pickup is a DiMarzio SDS1, which I put in about 1985. The bridge is also non-original, so this is a Carla single locking system. As is true with a lot of those 80s Carlas, it hasn't really stood the test of time. The locking screws here, the Allen key sockets in the screws have reamed out, so you really have to use a pair of pliers to loosen and tighten the thing. And the fine tuners here on the bridge are of the thumb screw type. And if I bring this closer to the camera, you may be able to see them. And you can see that they have twisted, especially the high E one, where the actual fine tuner screw is offset from the pivot point. The actual fine tuner itself is twisted. They still work fine, but it doesn't look particularly cosmetically nice. So what does it sound like? Well, the amp I'm playing through here is a Cheerio Tone OTS-20 Mini, and I'm playing it through the Cheerio Tone on the top cabinet. And if I run through the pickups from neck back to bridge, you'll hear that the original two pickups, you're definitely in Strat territory. This has got a three-way switch, so here's the middle. Definitely Stratty. And then you go onto this DiMarzio SDS1, and suddenly you're playing a Les Paul Junior. Sounds very much like a P90. You can get those in-between pickup selections by balancing the switch in the manner that you used to have before Fender came out with the five-way switch in '79. So there you have the old quacky Yeah, the old quacky in between sound, and you can even still sort of get it with the middle of the bridge, although the high output SDS1 does make it sound a little different. You're still in Strat territory, but it's a bit louder and a bit brighter than you'd expect. And if I put it onto a crunch channel, well, you see you're very much in Les Paul Junior, Les Paul Special type noise areas there. There, but you're in that sort of territory. So there you have it. One vintage rant mode 1970s Japanese guitar. Sorry. It's a pet peeve. I get a bit narky when people start calling guitars from this era vintage. They are not. They're just old. Vintage guitars are 50s and 60s to my mind. Guitars from the 70s, they're the instruments that got everybody wanting to buy vintage guitars in the first place. Because let's face it, well, Gibson and Fender took their eyes completely off the ball in that era. They were chasing production numbers rather than quality. They were cutting corners. They were making design by accountant type decisions, and the instruments suffered as a result. Yes, there are some nice 70s Fenders out there, but boy have you got to look for them. Maybe it's just because I was in the UK and they exported all the turds to there, but hey, I don't remember playing a single Strat in the 70s that actually felt like you wanted to buy it. That mostly felt like you wanted to say, yes, very nice, have it back. Heavy, nasty sounding pickups, horrible actions, just not nice guitars. When I see someone trying to sell a 1979 Strat as an vintage guitar, I just go, yeah, get on with it. Have fun. Anyhow, that was today's Guitar Day. I'll be back with more later, maybe, if you're not lucky. Hurry. Bye.